What's going on, Switch fam? How's everybody doing today? Nothing like a nice hype upbeat intro music. John, David, how you guys doing?
Fantastic. Hey Summit. Hey John, how you doing, man?
Hey, very well, thank you. I am that music is so dramatic. I'm so excited right now.
Yes.
It's incredible. And then seeing that Titano logo in that countdown, those were the good days, and here are the great days. Here we go, guys.
Yeah. I actually like that we got a chance to see that final Titano logo and hear that theme song. Although I don't know if the theme song's going to carry over, but it was great just being reminded, Titano, we owe a debt of gratitude for bringing all of us together here on this wild and amazingly wonderful adventure that we're on. So it's nice to have that for like one final time, that Titano.
Yeah, 100%.
Completely agree.
All right. Well, it's time. Hey guys, I gotta be honest. Did we settle on a name for the Switch community? What are we calling everyone?
Man, I think we went back and forth. We had Switchlings, Switchers, Switchies. I mean, there's so many like different versions.
Almost sounds like Swiss cheese. I don't know that.
Swiss cheese. Well, I definitely think we should run a poll on our Twitter, and we should make these suggestions and see what the community wants. I like switchers. I like switchlings. I like Swiss cheese. I think all of those work. So I think and then we should let people, come up with some offerings as well. And same goes for this. We used to be called the Titan Talk, and currently we've settled on Swych Speak, which I like. Like speakeasy. Right, yeah. I like that.
Yep.
But there are other options. Do you have anything on the top of your head, David, that you could?
Actually, I don't. I mean, I will definitely run some ideas by though, but no, nothing comes to mind. I actually like Swych Speak.
Swych Speak.
Yeah, but definitely, I think we should stay open to some other suggestions because the switchers are a real creative community. So yeah, bring it on. Let's see what we can find if we can find one better.
Yeah. Awesome. I think what was it, John? You and I were going back and forth, just trying to think of as many alliterations as we possibly could.
You came up with a really good one. What was it last night? You said sip and switch.
Sip and switch, yeah.
Sip and switch.
I like that.
Oh my gosh.
Switch space also works. We'll run another poll, guys. We'll
this could be a whole separate talk.
Yeah. Were you guys consuming any alcohol or any other substances while you were having this discussion? Sip and switch. Okay. All right. So yeah, please submit some ideas and let's see what we can get here if we can find anything better than what we're currently wrestling with. Welcome everybody. This is our first post-switch chat in the community, and we are really excited to be here. It has been quite a last several weeks between the winding down of Titano, the ending of rebasing, that period, the extended wait for the audit to be done, and then the migration over to Switch, which thank you to the guys, it was just absolutely flawless. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of exciting things happening, and this is the beginning of something amazing. Summit, how you feeling about everything?
I'm feeling great. I mean, everything just was so seamless, so nice. I mean, the transition over, everything's nice and blue now. We went from that green to a nice blue here. It's exciting though. It really is. It's looking like a really bright future. I love the community vibes, the energy going into different places. Everybody's excited and hyped. I know I myself am. And it really just was a nice transition. Everything was just so smooth, and now we're kicking off Switch with a bang. Everything is just really going great.
Right, John, thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to echo what you guys are saying, and also just a thank you to the devs who did so much behind the scenes prep work and the whole moderating, staff and team. And if you've seen what these guys have been going through for the last few weeks, getting everything ready, not just in terms of the branding, as you can see, it's right across the whole range of products right now. It looks fantastic, but all the coding that they had to get done right, the website, the website looks great. The new DApp looks great with the staking. We'll talk about later. There's so much that has to be done, especially, and we've talked about this before, but with such a huge project, such a massive community, you just can't afford to make mistakes. You just can't. And so everything, as we've mentioned before, David, and you talked about this last time, has to be done with precision. And when you're doing it at this level, you have to work with the best people. And we have worked with the auditors. We worked with our devs, obviously brought on extra people to help with some of the dev work. And as you can see from the result, the end result is a perfect migration. 100%. Everyone got what they needed to get. Everything transitioned over perfectly. You could trade the moment it opened. You can't ask for more than that. That's wonderful. And just to jump off from there, I want to say, welcome to all the new people that are joining us at Swych. This will be the first time you've heard from us. This is Summit and David and myself. I'm John, and welcome to Swych. This community has been here for a good 15 months now.
16 months. We're going into 17.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my gosh.
This is a veteran project, but for many people, you will have just discovered us recently. And please, come in, join this wonderful community, meet the fantastic community we have, ask questions, and get settled. We're here for the long term, and we're delighted to have you on board at this really, really exciting time.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said. 76,450 wallets got moved over seamlessly. And yeah, that creates a great foundation, great community. We have the best community in crypto, I believe. It's amazing. I've gotten so many messages from people who are so excited. They've been here a long time. And I've also gotten so many messages from people who've been here and like haven't been around and like, hey, what happened? What happened? What are we doing? And you know what I mean? I had the ability to kind of tell them what was going on. It's like, really? Wow, that's incredible. That's what you guys have been working on. Yep, this is what we've been working on. Where have you been? Oh, I was just dormant for a minute. Well, welcome back. Wake up. The hibernation time is over. So yeah, really exciting. I just want to echo what John said with regard to there are a lot of new members to the community and more coming on every minute, literally. So that's great to see. We got a great vision and a big plan and a roadmap. I don't necessarily mean only something that's written, but something that is in effect and moving forward to help us get to where we're going, which is we want to be a top 5 DEX on BNB chain. And we believe that this project can by far surpass the heights that we've reached previously. So yeah, I think as we're all beginning to see this new direction rolled out and the advances that are being made, we'll begin to even appreciate more and more how much we have as a result of sticking together and pushing forward and building. Guys, we've been talking about building. Like, what's the one common theme in every successful crypto project? It's that they keep building. Bear market, bull market, a FUD, whatever's going on, it's just building. And it's really enjoyable to see how all of this stuff got released, that new DApp that's out, right? And, and all the elements around Swych that are being built out and much more to come. So really, really exciting.
Yeah, that's so true, David. All that building that's been happening, all the preparation, to get this perfect migration to this new beautiful project. You can plug holes in a broken dam, right? And when that bear market's all heavy on top of you, it's really a struggle to try and just do that. Just run around, try and fix this, fix that, do a little bit of marketing here to try and pump the price a bit. But it doesn't solve an issue, or it doesn't address the problem. The market has changed. Looking at the current market trend right now, the market has changed. And what they needed to do was a wholesale change. Take the great things about Titano that being the community, that being the resources that we built up, that being the team and the staff and the moderators and the extra devs and the designers and this internal marketing team that we've been building, external marketing team, all these elements that we've been growing and building through the bear market, as you say, David. Again, that word building, taking all those things and then giving it a new focus, and that's what it's about. Concentrating our efforts in one direction and then releasing it at one moment, and this is the result, right? This is the start. This is just the start of what is to come, and I think everyone's excited about that.
I completely agreed. It has it's been exciting. I've been telling everyone that this is months in the making.
Yes.
And, now as you begin to see things like the referral program that's been worked on, all these different elements, and again, many more to come, just the focus on creating solid elements, right, that help us to grow and help us to build towards our goals, our agendas. And I've been asked a lot about Titano and my thoughts on it. And gosh, aren't you guys happy? Titano was fantastic. It was fantastic. It's just, and I say this, I was in the whale chat, Telegram whale chat, and talking with a bunch of them, and in a live chat, and I was saying to them, it's the challenge is this market, right? This industry that we're in is constantly changing, and sometimes you build stuff out, and by the time it's built, the market's changed. So it's really so, and that went into the thinking for what got created, right? What are those things that are consistent, that tend to do well, that tend to sustain no matter the market conditions, right? What's that thing that's so solid? And the idea of building on top of a DEX, which, if you look across the crypto industry at, what types of projects do well, right? You got layer ones, you got layer twos, you got DEXs, and you got wallets, right? Those are the things that consistently do well. And so our moving to a DEX and focusing our efforts by building out a DEX, it just makes good logical sense. It really, really does. And, we know as we go along and we start implementing these use cases and revealing more of what's already in place, it'll even make more sense. It'll even make people more excited about where we're going.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So what's on our agenda today, fellas? What are we talking about?
Gotcha. Agenda-wise, I think today's talk is really going to be about recapping kind of what's going on with migration, maybe answering some of those common questions that we've seen people bring up in the chats, whether it be on our social media channels or Discord or Telegram or anything like that. Talking a little bit about what we're doing, maybe about the marketing side of things, UI updates, stuff like that, just giving people a little bit of insight. But today is really about just kind of talking about how the process has gone, and then just some of the common questions that we've seen come around in the chats. Yeah.
If we can, in fact, if we can, Summit, for those people that are brand new to Swych, they've just, or maybe they're just listening to this for the first time and this is their first exposure to Swych, would you mind perhaps telling them, what the tokenomics are, what we have right now, forgetting for a second what we've come from, because that's in the past. What do you get if you buy a Swych token today? What can you do with it? Where's it looking for my investment if I invest today?
Yeah, 100%. So, when you're coming into the Swych ecosystem here, and I say ecosystem because there's going to be a lot of elements in play. When you buy this token, you have access to everything that we have to offer. That token is really going to be the heart of everything that we're building out. Tokenomics wise, though, that Swych token, once you purchase that, allows you to go ahead and gain access to staking right off the bat, which is something huge that we have now. Another great thing is buying that token has a 0% tax. So when you buy into Swych, you're not paying any additional fees. You're entry level right there. What you see when you're buying is what you're getting. So you get that 0% tax. You get your Swych token, and then from there you can go ahead and stake it. You can hang on to it. You can wait for more stuff to come out, but I highly recommend staking because during our initial phase, which is phase 1, that's the phase we're in right now. You can stake your token for a 500% APY. And that staking rewards you in more Swych tokens. This will be the only time in this phase 1 of the lifetime of Swych that'll allow you to get yield in Swych token. After that, we transition into something else. But you'll be able to earn more Swych while you're kind of waiting for that phase 2 to roll around. But phase 1 is really an exciting kind of distribution phase. where when you purchase that token, you can stake it. We have a small sales tax. Like I said, there's no buy tax, but there is a sales tax of 10%. We also have something called an ATB, or available trading balance.
Right.
And what that is kind of like a protection for your token and the price. It limits selling depending on the amount of tokens that you have in comparison to the liquidity pool. So if you're somebody who has a lot of money invested into Swych, you may only be able to sell a smaller fraction of tokens as compared to somebody who has a lot less tokens. They might be able to sell a bigger amount of their tokens, and that range is 20% to 2%. And you can sell that amount every 10 days. So every 10 days, you can sell up to 20% or as low as 2% on those tokens there. Of course, because we have... Oh, were you going to say something?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, just can you explain why some people might only be able to sell 2% and some might be able to sell 20%, and how that actually benefits the ecosystem as a whole? I know that's a question that's come up.
Yeah, like I was saying, so it's something that has to do with how many tokens you have in comparison to the liquidity pool. Okay. So with something like that, if you have a lot of tokens, let's say, you have 1,000,000 tokens, okay, which is going to be worth a significant amount of money, and you try to sell all 1,000,000 tokens, you would negatively impact the liquidity pool and cause the price to drop down significantly. So you can only sell a smaller fraction of those tokens, still able to sell, but just a smaller fraction, so that your sales wouldn't impact so heavily on that liquidity pool. So if you have, for example, 1,000,000 tokens, you might only be able to sell that 2%, just because the value of your tokens, the amount that you have, is going to be significantly more than somebody else. Just in the same breath, if you have maybe 100 Swych tokens, okay, which the value is not going to be as much as somebody who has 1,000,000, you'll be able to sell that full 20%, okay? And that's because, again, your impact on that liquidity pool is not going to be as high on that.
Perfect. So it's actually there to protect people's investment, protect the project.
Correct. Yeah, and that's going to be during phase 1. So that's here to protect while we're going through this distribution phase, while people are earning on those tokens. That's that little benefit. So yes, you can earn on your tokens. We recommend you go ahead and stake on them, but to make sure that people aren't just dumping out those tokens or taking their staking rewards and using that as profit there. We just have that ATB system to kind of protect everybody.
Perfect. Thanks for that, Sumit. If you please carry on.
Yeah, of course. I think another super important thing to touch on is really the transfer fees. And that's something to protect, again, kind of everybody's value, okay? But more importantly, it's to prevent people from circumventing the ATB, or that available trading balance here.
Right.
So what that does is anytime that you take your Swych tokens, okay, and try to transfer them to another wallet, if that other wallet has any Swych tokens in it, you will be impacted by a 35% transfer tax. And this is to prevent people from wallet hopping or, divvying up their tokens into different wallets so that they can sell more at once. So that's there, again, just to protect. And then on top of that, you have to wait 10 days from when you transfer it to go ahead and make any sales after that. Now, if you have 0 Swych tokens in another wallet, let's say you just bought a Ledger or a Trezor or a SafePal or whatever it may be, and you want to store your tokens somewhere else, as long as there is 0 tokens in that wallet, you can transfer it without any type of tax on there. Now, it's super important to recognize that it has to be 0, pure 0, nothing ever touched that wallet. If there is even a fractional amount of tokens inside that wallet, you will be hit with that transfer tax. So make sure that that wallet has nothing in it at all. And I'm saying if there's even 0.00001 tokens inside there, you still will be impacted by that transfer tax. Another thing to note too is you can't do partial transfers. So if you have 1,000 tokens and you want to send 500 over to a different wallet, you'll also be impacted by that transfer tax. So it has to be an all or nothing transfer to a wallet that has 0 tokens inside of it in order to be exempt from that transfer tax.
Perfect.
Got it. Good. Yeah, these elements are implemented, John, as you alluded to earlier. It's to protect the entire community, no matter how many tokens you have, right? So these during this phase, and I've had a lot of questions about why the staking, what's going on here, why this inflationary portion Swych. And what I always point to is, when you're developing an ecosystem and a token, the first stage typically is getting the token distributed into as many hands as possible. And also, using this time to roll out what the project is going to be about. So this 40 to 60 day period is designed just for that, right? It's designed to put more tokens in people's hands, get them excited about the project, and then have this time to start exhibiting and showing and demonstrating where we are and what we're about, and rewarding people for being here as we do this. So this is why this phase is extraordinarily important. So you'll see a lot of what's going to be happening in the future revealed during this period of time. So this is our token distribution phase. And then Summit, we're going into our second phase.
Yeah. And that
Actually,
second phase
before we
is
do
gonna be
that, guys, one thing I don't think we touched upon as you were talking through that Summit, if I'm brand new to Swych, where can I buy Swych? I know it's a Binance Chain token. Can I buy it on PancakeSwap, or what's the situation there?
Ooh, excellent question. You can head on over to our actual exchange on here. That's going to be swych.finance. And that's going to be the only official place to buy any types of Swych tokens. So if you want to go ahead and purchase Swych tokens, it would have to be on swych.finance.
And yeah, perfect. And again, no buy tax, and on swych.finance, that's where all the liquidity is. So you won't get the big price impacts that you might see elsewhere. And of course, you won't get some clone of Swych token or anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Make sure you're on swych.finance. These scammers are relentless. So yeah, there's only one official place to buy Swych tokens. Got it. Thank you for that, John. That was good. Okay. So now 40 to 60 days, everyone's getting 500% APY interest. Everyone's happy. Then what happens?
We should probably just jump in and say 40 to 60 days is an approximation. So it might be a little shorter. It might be a little longer. But that's the rough estimate that we have at this time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. But yeah, 40 to 60 days is truly that estimate for the end of phase 1. And that's when we transition this token into phase 2. And phase 2 is very exciting because those transfer fees, those taxes, all that stuff there is removed. There's no more sales tax. There's no more ATB system. There is no more transfer fees because, of course, we're getting rid of the ATB system. The coin becomes essentially kind of I guess you would say just a standard BEP20 token with the ability to expand where we get listed, the ability to reach a wider audience. Now that you remove some of those elements such as taxes, you're eligible to go on, for example, exchanges. It's always funny when we talk about decentralized exchanges and keeping, everything decentralized. And then the goal is always, let's get to Binance, let's get to crypto.com, but it's to reach a wider audience, So the goal, of course, is when you remove those elements, you're now eligible to go on those types of exchanges, which is something we will definitely look towards approaching and seeing what we have as options as far as getting on there. Of course, we also now look towards potentially cross-chain capabilities, seeing if we're able to expand the token in different ways. But now, I think the biggest excitement is you can use your Swych tokens as a way of generating real yield. Now when you're staking, rather than earning Swych tokens in return, you're going to be getting real yield. And what that means is things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, BUSD, USDT, anything like that. And that's really awesome, for people who are trying to make that little bit of passive income and collecting some money to use it towards whatever you may want to use. Now, the difference being with real yield is that can fluctuate, as far as that value. It's not a fixed staking anymore. That value is going to fluctuate a little bit. But again, you're getting something to, be able to get some passive income out of. The nice thing about going into this phase 2 as well is we go into a deflationary period. There's no more minting. There's no more token creation. There's no more inflation at all. We take away those elements. We cap out on a max supply. And we really look into doing, maybe the occasional buyback burns, reduce those supplies. Now the token becomes, we have a level of scarcity that goes along with it. So generating more value. And then really using this token as a staple for the DeFi ecosystem.
Fantastic.
Very well said. Very well said. It's interesting. I've had a couple of conversations with some of the Titans / switchers, because since we're right in the middle at this point, regarding what are the things moving forward, right, that make Switch so exciting, right? And so, John, you had a very good discussion around real yield and how important that is, right? Rather than just consistently inflating the token. In addition to that, this entire transition, right, evolution, was based on our looking at how do we position this project so that it moves like all of the bigger crypto projects that we love. And with that being said, the focus is on creating a project that is exciting because of the things that are going on within the project, right? The use cases, the different elements, the partnerships, all of these things that end up being created by the team and by the project, that then creates advantages for the project, that then turns into value for the project, that then gets reflected in the token price. So what I've been saying is, we're moving out of where we were from a, kind of hoping that something will happen, right, to a strategy where we're going to build out this project so that there's a foundation of things happening. And again, that gets reflected in the token price, creating more value for the token holders. So that's the strategy. And during this time, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to lay out where we're going, what's already in place. You'll see some use cases come out. A perpetual exchange or perpetual DEX is a great example of one. But you'll see that the focus is on building out a real project, again, that moves, that responds, that reacts in the same way that the big projects in crypto do, the ones that we all love. So that's the foundation of it. And yeah, it's a change. It definitely is a change, but it's a change for the better. And it's a change, again, that is based on, I've said this consistently, this is the devs listening to the community in terms of what they want to see. What do you want to see in a project? What things are you no longer enamored with? And what things would you like to see more of? And that's what's being reflected here. So it's a real project with real elements. And yeah, those elements are going to support this token price and grow this project.
That's so well said, David. I mean, this is something we were talking about quite a few months ago. The fact that we're moving from a simple project into a business, as it were, and I think that's what we're trying to get across here. Get your tokens. For me personally, I'm staking while I can, because I know there's only this period where Switch is inflationary. And so that's why I'm staking. Personally, I'm staking all my tokens because I want to get as many Switch tokens as possible. Because when we move into real yield, what's really valuable is that's business. That's an actual business. We're actually making revenue from our from our use cases, from our products, and it will keep growing. So real yield might start small, but if the more Switch you have, the higher your share of the real yield, and then the project will keep growing, so that real yield will keep growing, right? So that's what we're focusing on now, creating a real business of this and expanding those business lines. The first step will be, one of the first things will be that perpetual DEX, which in and of itself is a gigantic business. It's so big. The potential there is so large that, as I mentioned in a previous AMA, even if we capture just a portion, a tiny percentage of that market, the real yield will dwarf what I'm making right now in Switch yield. So my goal right now personally is to invest my Switch into staking Switch for Switch, and then later on, hopefully that will turn into a nice income in real yield, which, going back to the beginning, the whole point of us all being here is pulling together this collection of people that believe that crypto, decentralized finance, And passive income is the future. Pooling resources, working together, developing products that people can use worldwide. That's the real opportunity here. So really, we're finally getting to that point where we can see these things come together. The aspirations, the ambitions, they were massive, and now you can see how they are coming to light. Speaking of which, coming to light, I believe, guys, we are on the verge of hitting 3 cents on the Swych token.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible. So just if you guys don't know, I mean, for those that don't know, when did we launch and what price did we launch at?
We launched on the 23rd and at a penny.
Wow. So 2 days ago, two and a half days ago.
Yeah, 2.5 days ago. Oh my gosh. Not even, I think 2 days, because
I don't think it's been 2 days yet.
Yeah, if you think about it, Swych technically didn't go live until probably midday on the 23rd, at least for where I'm at. So yeah, I mean, it's only been about 2 days.
I think it's been less than 48 hours.
That's almost a 3x, almost. Am I right in saying that? Almost a 3x in 2 days. That's incredible. Wow. Okay. And what, I mean, what can I ask? Why? I mean, I know the answer. I think I know the answer. But why do you think you guys? Why do you think that is? I mean, what is it about this that's worked so well?
It's interesting. I've been circumspect in our Titan talks and when I've been talking with people about what was coming, because I don't ever want to be looked at as giving investment advice.
Right.
But these guys understand how to position a new project. So what I was saying was, it's going to be treated like a new project, right? I think part of it is, I think the excitement around having a project and a team that
Yeah.
As we've done these AMAs, especially the ones on Telegram, right? Because those were always interesting, because typically the places where you go, they're just, shotgunning projects out. Hey, we got another one. And when I did that long one, that 2-hour one, more than 2 hours, almost 3 hours, and the moderator wanted to get the backstory. And I was telling it like what we'd gone through and what we'd seen and, and what we've experienced, the good and the bad. It was becoming even more clear to me how well positioned we were to launch this kind of a project in this market with these elements. And, John, you and I've told the community, you and I have been on quite a few discussions with, I don't want to say whales, but bigger investors who are looking at Swych.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with, I think there's going to be a turn in, and by the way, there are more elements I'm going to let you guys talk to, but I think there's going to be a turn in the DeFi community going into this next bull market, where I think people are going to be a bit more discerning. I've been saying that, even as we're looking at projects now, right? One of the questions we're asking projects is, who are you guys? What's your experience in what you're developing? Right? What's your background relating to the project that you are putting forward? Because it does make a difference. It really, really does make a difference. And when you have people who are battle tested, who've been through it, who've been through the markets, like I always say, Titania was never in a bull market or caught the tail end of the bull market going down. It really, really means something. And as I've gone around, as we've gone around and had these discussions, you start realizing just how important that part is. And I think that partly, not all of it, but partly, I think that's beginning to shine through. Like, people are looking and they're going, I can make an investment somewhere. These guys, it's not going to be a rug pull. They've been through it. All that talking that they've been doing about we're building, now I'm seeing it, right? Yes. They're moving from the edge to the center. This all makes a lot of sense to me. I think that's really what's going on.
Yes, and listening to, if you haven't had the chance, I'm speaking to the audience for a second. If you haven't had the chance, please go back and listen to any of the AMAs that happened in the lead up to the migration this last week. You'll hear David talking about these very same things, and what I mean, this is amazing. I'm looking at the chart. The chart is incredible. But if you go back and listen to those AMAs and even the previous ones and listen to what Summit's talked about, myself, David, look at what the moderators are talking about in the chats. Please note that we never discuss the price. We never really talk about, oh, is it going to pump? That's not the core of our
Nope.
discussion. The core of our discussion is, are we building something real? Are we building something with value? And that's what happened in these AMAs, and now you're starting to see the buys coming in, and that's not just for the price. And that's what we wanted. This is what we talked about with Titano last year. There came a point where everyone was just aping in, as it were, degen, aping in, and they didn't understand what the project was about. And we lost control. And this time we've been very, very particular, very thorough about getting out there and saying, we're building this. We're building a perpetual DEX. We're building this amazing staking platform with a tiered referral system, which we'll get into in a minute, which will be huge. We're doing buybacks using the treasury money, which we've been saving, protecting for our project and for our users. We've been very cautious about how to phrase this because we don't want to be one of those projects which pump and dump, right? We just don't do that. We've told our community, and our community has been amazing. We've told them, so many people say, what are you doing for your long-term holders? Well, take a look. This is what we're doing for the long-term holders. We're not pumping your project in a way you see junk projects pumping the projects, right? That's not what we do. We're building the project so that you stay as you are. You transition from Titano to Switch, and you can now see the value of that. Quietly going about raising awareness, getting out there, doing the right kind of marketing. And we're going to talk about more marketing shortly. A lot of things that are happening now. So continue to be more excited. But there's a lot going on now, but it's in the same vein. It's real marketing, organic marketing. It's not pump and dump stuff. It's getting to the heart of what people need, what people want to see in this space, and what we're building to allow that to happen. Let's talk about, guys, if we can, talk about the elements that are there now. So let's talk about the staking. Let's talk about how easy it is. Summit, would you mind taking people through that?
Through staking and all of that good stuff?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So staking, it's only a few button clicks. It's actually extremely easy. If you head on over to the Switch website, okay, and go to our DApp section, there is a tab called Earn. From there, you can go ahead and press on the staking button. Once you click on that, okay, you'll be greeted with kind of our DApp, I guess you could say, for getting everything staked and good to go. There is a button that will ask you to approve to stake. You'll just go ahead and click that, authorize that wallet connection. Something I would like to note real quick on that is for anybody using MetaMask, there's a new spending cap that requires you whenever you're approving a contract. If you see that, go ahead and just tap use default. And make sure that you put that in there, okay? So that way you don't have any issues connecting. And I'll tell you the reason why in the next section. But once you connect everything, okay, you'll be able to go ahead and stake your tokens. Now it's super easy. All you press is then the big button that says stake. It'll ask you to stake your tokens. Now with staking, you stake all of your tokens. So there's not a way to do a partial stake. You can't do like 50% out, 50% in. You can take the tokens out at any point in time, but if you want to stake them, you have to stake all of your tokens at once. The reason why that's also important with MetaMask spending cap is if you set it too low and it can't collect all those tokens, you won't be able to go through with that staking, and you'll have to go through and revoke the contract and then reapprove the contract after that.
Right.
But you can go ahead, you stake your tokens just like that. You start earning that yield immediately. In fact, the actual dashboard updates in real time. So you'll be able to see all of those tokens, those sweet tokens coming into your wallet at the very moment that you're looking at that screen.
Wow,
yeah.
I'm looking. Sorry, Summit. Sorry to interject. I'm looking at the total value.
Look at it. Look at it, John.
Looking at it now, and it's going up. But the total value locked at this moment is $5.5 million worth.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah,
it was at 3.2 earlier today. Wow!
Yes. Yeah.
So a lot of people are staking. And like I said, you can always unstake at any point in time that you want. You are subject to a 3% unstake fee. So that fee just goes back to the treasury on that. But when you unstake those tokens, they go back to your wallet. You can then go ahead and do what you wish with them. If you wanted to sell some ATB, if you want to just keep them in your wallet. And then, of course, you can always go back and stake them again. Not a problem there. But yeah, it is super duper duper easy. It's just a few button clicks and you are there. You're good to go. I personally, the second that it went live, just dumped all my tokens into staking. I threw them all in there, every single one.
That's why it went from nothing to 1.1 million straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in 15 seconds, it was Summit. I had a feeling.
I knew it.
Yeah, I sold both my kidneys. I'm hanging in there, guys.
That's it. That's it. So that's the kidney machine I hear in the background.
Yeah, it's just the slight pumps. Yeah, that's what's going
on.
So amazing. And that's fixed 500% APY for the first phase. So what be it 40 to 60 roughly days.
Yeah. Excellent.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Excellent. Hey guys, so what other elements are we working on? Are we moving the lottery over? Are we moving play over? What's the update on that? I've been getting those questions.
If we can, David, if you don't mind, could you just explain the referrals, which I think is the most exciting bit?
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry for skipping over that, guys.
No, how could you? How dare you?
How dare you, David?
Well, the funny thing is, this is for me and David. We've talked about this a lot. When people have asked us about the marketing, but the marketing. Organically marketing is the best way to market. So if you tell your friend, that's so much more valuable than sending 1,000 ads to someone's browser, right? It gets annoying. But if your friend tells you, you listen, you pay attention. And so this referral system works so well. Can you just explain how it works, Summit? This is the staking referral system.
Yeah, and I agree with you, like kind of what you said too. I mean, this is an organic way to bring people in the Switch, right? But this referral system is really cool, because it not only rewards you for referring, your buddy. Like it's not, if I refer you, John, I'm not just getting referred, and getting those rewards by you. I'm also getting any rewards from people you refer. So that's pretty cool. So let's talk about it. The way it works is when you refer somebody, and I'm going to use John and David as an example here. If I go ahead and I refer John, okay, and John is going to be what we call like a level 1 referral, okay, he's going to stake 1,000 tokens, okay. And, if he's staking 1,000 tokens, he's going to get, a certain token amount back. Okay. We'll say, just for simple math, we'll say, he makes 10% a day on his staking. So he gets 100 tokens a day. I get 40% of that as a reward. So what that means is when he's staking his tokens, I'm getting a portion of his stake tokens as a nice little reward bonus. Now, that's not coming out of his wallet. Okay.
Right.
That's not something that's being taken from him. It's just calculating out, since, hey, because you stake this amount, I get like a minted portion of a reward as well. So now I'm earning off of John because I brought him into Switch.
Amazing.
Now, that's awesome, right? I think we all love making, some free tokens out of it. But what if John then refers David? Well, if John refers David, David is his level 1 referral, okay? Which means he's going to make 40% off of whatever, David's staking percentage is. But then I'm also going to make 20% off of David because he's my level 2 referral on that. So that's cool there. I mean, that's awesome. But it doesn't end there. There's another level. If David goes out and refers Summit 2, let's say, because I only have 2 names that I can go with here, I get 10% off of that person as well. So it just keeps here and going forward. Now, the 3rd level, I'll admit, it ends at the 3rd level there, okay? But you get rewards off of 3 levels of people, which is incredible. It means you are indirectly making rewards off of pretty much anybody that you're bringing in. And if they add more tokens, they stake more tokens, you're going to make even more rewards off of the tokens they continue to stake. So it's really awesome. I love it. I'm hyped about it. You can tell I'm hyped about it. And it's really great. Now, the only thing I will give as a disclaimer is this person has to sign up with your link, and they cannot have you staking it any point in time. So if they, for example, staked once at the very beginning, and let's say, 60 days down the road, they decide they're going to stake again, you won't be able to get a referral reward from that. But if it's somebody brand new, maybe you want to go to a server, you're talking to somebody about Switch and they want to jump in, give them that referral link, bring them on in, take some profit for yourself that you get as a nice little bonus. And then anybody that they bring in, you'll also get some benefit from that too.
Or would it work if I were to post it on my Twitter or post it on my Reddit account? Would that work?
Oh, 100%. It's an easy to use clickable link. So all you got to do is just give that link. Anybody who wants to take part of Switch just clicks that link and boom, done.
Oh, okay, so I don't actually need to know them. I can just post it publicly, and if they want to use my link, anyone can use it.
Anybody can use it.
Fantastic, amazing.
Fantastic.
And what I really like is that it doesn't take away. So if you referred me and I get my rewards, it doesn't take from my rewards to give to you, right? It's a completely separate thing.
Correct. Completely separate thing on that. So you're not going to be losing any of your own rewards. It's just a nice way to bring people into Switch, and kind of like, if you think about it, a thank you for bringing everybody in. If you want to share that, you spread out, the word of Switch and share it with people that, or don't know, you can now get a little bonus for doing that. And I know plenty of exchanges and other places do similar things like this. And I mean, it works great. It's a nice reward. Again, for those people who bring new people to an ecosystem, and we're doing the same thing here, and it's super exciting.
Exactly. I mean, it's something we've seen, and I think it's something the community, our investors have asked for a long time, because they've seen it with, the big central exchanges. They all offer rewards if you invite some of your friends, and why not, right? You're trying to spread the word, and we'd rather. Let's put it another way. If we were going to advertise on Brave browser, we have a minimum budget of $10,000, that disappears very quickly, and we're just paying some random browser. Well, why not pay that out to the community that spreads the word for us, right? And you're then supporting your own token, you're supporting your own ecosystem, and you're receiving the rewards for that purpose. And it's the same. That's the reason, the Binances of the world do it, or the other projects, and I'm really glad we've managed to put this together. And the way it's structured, I love it, because it means that you stay involved if you're, the first person to refer, and it goes across to the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. You get a small bonus, as it were, a token appreciation from each person that you've introduced to the project.
Sumit, how would I find, where's the referrals? I didn't even know about this. So fill me in. How would I do it?
Yeah. So if you go to the same place that you would stake your tokens, it's actually right on that same page there. You'll see a referral link that you can just go ahead. There's a nice little copy button. You click that, and just like that, you got your link to go ahead and share that around.
Love it.
Unfortunately, David, Sumit has already shared his referral link with everyone you know.
I now I know why he's the big kahuna.
Yeah, I'll post it. I'll post it here as like a test so people can use it. Try it out maybe.
Got it.
Yeah, try using Summit's link, and he will let you know if it worked.
Yeah, John, I'll let you guys see how much I got.
John, I wanted to add something to what you said. You started with a little bit of the marketing, and it'll kind of bleed over into marketing. And yeah, one of the things that we did well early on with Titano was organic marketing. Right? Yeah. We used to pride ourselves on the fact that the community was so well educated, so engaged. And it happened because a lot of the marketing, a lot of the building of the community was really organic. Yes. People ask good questions. I used to say, and I still do, that before the mods in TG or Discord could answer a question from someone who came in new into the community was answering it. And they were giving really good answers. And, when we exploded, right, somewhere between 45 and 50,000 holders, and we got to that point, you guys remember we were taking in more than 1,000 holders a day. It was insane. And the tone and the mood changed. And, and so this is really an attempt, as you're saying, John, to kind of get back to that, what was there before. Absolutely. Because, people have been asking questions like, well, David, aren't you guys concerned? We're going to reach a point where everyone's going to dump. Well, a lot of it has to do with the type of holders we have.
Yes.
right? So how I've been answering it is twofold, right? Number one, we're trying to do different types of marketing to bring in different types of holders.
Yep.
And then two, what you'll see is a focus on our trying to transition those pump and dump holders to long-term holders.
Yes.
So that's our goal during this period, right? So this is a part of it, setting up these referral systems, and doing other types of marketing, along with other marketing we're going to talk about, but doing this additional type of marketing to bring in the right type of holders. That's what we need going forward.
That is
Yeah.
so important to understand, David, and you're
Mm,
absolutely right. You know, someone I was in the Telegram yesterday, and someone said, you know, they were so happy. They said, oh, they bought in or bought in more at launch or just before launch, and they said, how can I help? You know, how can I help? I just want to help.
mm,
And I just thought this feels just like it felt
mm,
at the start where when Titano was doing, you know, when it was all flowing correctly. You know, when you hit that flow
right.
state,
Yeah.
and it felt just the same. And this guy, you know, fantastic. This is exactly what you want to hear. How can I help the project? How can I help
Mm,
this to be better and bigger? You know, and how can we keep this going? This energy. And I replied, and I said, with exactly that, you know, with exactly that energy. If you bring that energy in here, how can I help? Then we're going to do amazingly well. That is the secret. You know,
mm,
if everyone comes in with the energy of how can I help? How can I communicate, you know, this to the new person? How can I welcome the new person? Let's make the Telegram, the Discord, let's make our socials as welcoming as possible. So that when someone new comes in, they go, oh, how can I buy? And there's someone there to help. How can I stake? Oh, I'm having trouble staking. You don't bite at them, right? That would be terrible if I went into a room and I genuinely didn't know. And then I asked and someone said, oh, you're so stupid. You just do this. Please, you know, our community is not like that. Let's take a moment to say, walk them through it, guide them through it. The moderators are there, but if they're not for a second, you know, be the energy that you'd like to receive.
Yeah.
mm,
Put that out
mm,
there. This is going to do tremendously well. And as you say, David, that's the kind of marketing we're trying to integrate here, you know, from the very start. So this this referral scheme, that's it. You know, we're trying to give back to the community. We want you to feel that you are empowered to bring friends on board, bring other people on board, you know, to share this on your Twitter. And there's something for you too. There's a bonus for you too. It's for our community. We are rewarding our long-term holders. And that's what we wanted to get to. This is what the team wanted to do. And I believe genuinely that this is the best way
mm.
to
Yeah.
share a project and get it out there.
Excellent, John. Yeah, I was in a conversation today, and I was talking about the difference between a stock, right, purchasing a stock, or being an investor in a stock, and being a part of a community, right, a crypto project. And the difference really is the community. It really is. If you think about the role you would play if you owned Tesla, or if you owned Apple computer stock, right, versus the role you could play and should play in one of these crypto projects, right, you should be active, to the extent that you can, in making the project succeed. So all of these ideas, and we've talked about it, guys. I mean, the entire time we've been here, right? It's not gonna. You guys think that the six of us are going to do all of this alone? That's impossible,
Yeah.
right? It's going to take all of us working together with your ideas and your feedback and your criticisms and your comments and your compliments. Don't leave those out either, in order to get us where we're going. And so, yeah, it's needed. So yeah, happy to see I'm getting a lot of people also reaching out to me saying, hey, look, I'm really excited about the excitement that's been created. I want to jump in. Yeah, and we're very open to that. And as we've always said, there are amazing people in this community,
Yeah.
amazing, with amazing skill sets, and we're constantly pulling them out of the community and saying, hey, what are you up to? You have any extra time? So that's going to continue. And please jump in, because this is all of us, and this is all of our project, and we'll all share in the success.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I can just piggyback on that as well, David, you know, it's sometimes you don't have to be a big voice, you know, you don't have to
Right.
have 1,000 or 10,000 followers. If you have a Twitter account, just like some of the posts, share some of the posts,
Mm,
or share your referral link, you know, just put it out there, and you'll be surprised at how the momentum grows. And
mm,
when you start
mm,
seeing something, you know, you'll see it again and you'll see it again. And then you think, oh, maybe I'll just dip my toes and I have a look at Switch.finance, and I'll have a look at the staking, and I have a look at the chart, and I'll listen to some AMAs, and in many ways, this AMA, you know, the things that we do in-house, the things that we share with the community, the things that the community share with each other, this is, you know, this is way more powerful than anything you can buy, you know.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add something on that too. I mean, if you think about it, there are 76,000, over 76,000 wallets here, right?
Yeah.
If one person, if you just one person, and you know, you go and like a tweet or share something around, okay, that is, and then take that times 76,000 people, that's a lot right there. 76,000 likes, 76,000 retweets, 76,000 comments. You being one person, you might not think, hey, I don't know if I can change that much. But if you think of yourself as that community, as that, you know, togetherness, okay, you're not just one person, okay? You're a voice is part of something that's much bigger.
Right.
Yes.
Well said. Well said. That's good. That's good. I'm happy to be, you know, it's been a while since the three of us have been together on one of these. This is good. I forgot how good it was. It's good.
It feels great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we talk about, I mean, I'm looking at this chart again. I can see some nice big spikes there. Can we talk about buybacks, Summit?
Yes, let's talk about it.
This is something David and I, you know, we went into the AMAs, and it was in, and yourself, of course, Summit, sorry. And it was in the list. It was in the list of things we brought up, wasn't it? It's like we were going to do these buybacks, but we really didn't want to stress it too much, because again, we don't want to make it about the price.
Right.
Never want to do that. But we did want to say there are going to be buybacks, and so you're not going to be surprised. But it's funny how many people have been surprised by buybacks, and perhaps we can talk about those.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think many people expected, you know, like, oh, come on, they're just going to do buybacks. No, we have been doing buybacks. And you probably don't notice it because the chart has just been so dang green that it just, even the buybacks are getting, you know, lost in translation with all the hype and excitement, which is great. But we have been doing buybacks. Believe it or not, it's actually an automated system. It is entirely automatic. Nobody's manually doing it. It's a bot that randomly and sporadically goes ahead and does buybacks. The value can range in that buyback. The time can range in that buyback. But its real purpose is just to encourage, you know, positive growth. Give a little spark. You know, I think we can all agree. And, you know, with finances, you always want to say, hey, keep emotions out of it the best you can. But when you see a nice green chart and a nice green arrow going up, nothing gets me more excited. You know, it's like, oh my God, yes, price is going up. And that's what those buybacks are to encourage, is, you know, give that little spark, that excitement. Maybe it pushes past that little resistance point to get you to that next area. And that's really what's been going on here. We've had some buybacks sporadically going on. You may notice some larger buys as compared to others. And those are those buybacks. You know, those are right then and there. I don't know if I want to touch on the next part of that, John. Should we, like the UI stuff, or save it for later?
Absolutely.
Please.
Awesome. So I know one thing that people were wondering about was, you know, how do we know where the buyback burn bot is? You know, how many funds are going to be used for it? And actually, right now, there is going to be a UI update on the website that shows the amount of funds allocated for buybacks, along with a bot that gives a rough estimate of when to expect a buyback. And I say rough because it's not going to tell you the exact time, more on the lines of there could be a buyback in this time period. Right. So if it's saying, for example, there hasn't been a buyback in 24 hours, and it's counting down, it could happen anytime within that 24 hours. But it's there to let you know that, you know, this is essentially the last time that there was a buyback. So it's exciting. It keeps you on your toes, but it also lets you know, hey, we've got funds here ready to go ahead and put back into that protocol and keep that spark and excitement going. And I think it's nice. But of course, you know, the main propellant of any type of positive price is bringing more, you know, people in, spreading the word of Switch. So these should be looked at as, and I keep stressing it so much, but because it's important, is a spark. Should not be something that, you know, we rely on as a way of keeping the price stable or keeping the price the way it is. It should be something that just sparks interest,
Mm,
gets us trending, maybe pushes us past a resistance point if we're getting stuck somewhere. But that's what it really should be looked at, not, oh, cool,
right,
I can go ahead and sell and not worry about it because there's a
right,
buyback coming.
right. Well, very, very, very well said. We've had this discussion, and it's been good lately, right? Because one of the things that Summit, you and I would talk about all the time in the chats is that the challenge, a lot of people saying, oh, buybacks, micro, macro, all these different things. And the bottom line was, it's like, look, you guys want us to buy back and burn like the token price to some, artificial number. They don't work that way. They just don't work that way. That's not why they're to be used. And so it's really been refreshing to have a token where the buybacks and burns are so impactful. Right. That was one of the elements we were saying, right? We had a token where it was challenging, right? So now you can, as you're saying, you can see them, or, in this particular case, you're right. You can't see a lot of them because, there's so much positive price pressure right now that they're just getting lost, which is a good thing, but yeah, it really, really is exciting. And, I'm really, really happy that we're in this position and that they are as effective as they are. Like you said, they're a spark. That's the precise word. They're a spark. John, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've talked about the fact that it has to come at the right time as well, because people,
Mm,
we mentioned we were going to do buybacks last year, and then the market just turned,
right,
and it would have been a
right,
terrible time to do them. And
right,
people questioned it, and obviously, we understand once you've said something, people want to see you follow through on that. And we really wanted to, the devs really wanted to, but it just was the wrong time. It was the right time to
right.
preserve funds. It was the right time to build that war chest. And you can see they've been proven right on that front, 100%.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
those people that didn't believe, in the project, they've left, and that was their right as well. You could always leave.
right.
But for those that
Mm,
stayed, you can see now this is the right time to do buybacks. It does and has created the spark, which has sent the price from 0.01 to 0.03 essentially in 2 days. It was the
mm,
right time
mm,
to do it, and they will continue. This is the exciting thing, guys. They will continue to do these buybacks every 24 to 72 hours. There's going to be a buyback, and it's not a determined time. It could be within any of that range, and you're going to see the budget or the treasury that they have, the wallet they have for buybacks, and that figure will grow and change as we create revenue. But I've actually seen it, and it's ample, to say the least. And you guys should know, if you're listening in, if you look at the chart, the vast majority of those buys have not been the buybacks. The vast majority have actually been
right,
organic buys, and they've come
right.
from. And we're going to talk about the marketing that we've done. They've come from those communities, those AMAs that we've done, David, that you and Summers have been
Right,
doing. They
right.
they don't have. People often expect from marketing, I put something out, and where's the moon, right? It doesn't work like that.
Mm,
You go out, you reach, you
right.
connect with people, and give them the chance to learn. Give them the chance to
Mm,
appraise, learn, and then decide whether
mm,
they invest. A lot of people were waiting to see if the migration would happen smoothly, and that's a very wise decision, because
right.
that's an incredibly difficult migration we went through with so many
Mm,
holders. It was the right thing for many people to do, to just wait on the sidelines. And as soon as it launched
mm,
successfully with a good audit, and you could see that you could buy and sell, and you could stake right from the get-go, then yes,
mm,
that's when the bullishness kicked in. And as you said, Summit, all we needed was a spark, and the guys did a few buybacks, and it just took off. And I think the funds are there to continue to do that. And with the staking referral system, that's incredibly exciting. That's something that could go viral very easily. And we're going to do a lot more marketing. So we're going to try and get this out to as many people as possible, as organically as possible. And yeah, let's see where this goes. Those buybacks are here, as you say, to support that continued momentum.
mm. Excellent. All right, let's talk about some marketing. What do you think?
Yeah, let's move into it.
Let's do it.
All right, let me set the stage first, right? Because I'm sure you guys also, we have a lot of conversations about marketing, right? And I'm constantly sort of expanding when people give me the opportunity, their understanding of what marketing is and how it works. So just like we were talking about the referral system, and that's a marketing system, that's really what it is. And it's being implemented because of the type of holder that we want. So one of the challenges that we ran into with Titano is we hit a brick wall with marketing, meaning the traditional marketing that you use in a crypto project, particularly a DeFi project, just simply stopped working. And then we were left with a challenge, like, what do we do? Do we keep throwing money, a lot of money, at these same marketing channels, or do we stop? And the determination was made that we were going to slow things down greatly and focus on building. Well, now the building is underway, and you're seeing the result of the building. And during that time, what we did was we built out several different marketing channels, right? So the traditional marketing channels that we'd always employed, right? And then we built a relationship with one of the top 3 or 4, or 2 or 3 actually, crypto focused digital marketing firms, right? That's Ninja Promo. In order for several things, right? To have access to additional marketing channels on a high level, to help us sort of grow like our macro view of what marketing could be, and then also to implement additional marketing, right? That we may not have been able to do on our own, right? So we did that, and then we built an internal marketing team, which is always in high gear. Those guys are always cranking, and with the goal of focusing on the right type of holders. So that's critical to keep in mind as we're talking. So what that means is that we're going down every marketing channel. Like I said earlier, we went to Telegram to speak with communities that typically are looking for, I don't want to use the word pump and dump projects, but pump and dump projects, to let them know that, hey, there's another option out there. Because the thought was, these guys, there's got to be a bunch of these people who are just tired of, playing the lottery, right? Let's see what happens if we can get in front of them and talk about us. And it's been really, really, as John mentioned, is great response. But I just wanted to sort of preface the marketing with an understanding of there are all sorts of marketing channels. Well, like I say, when John and I, or somebody and I, are on calls, when we're talking with whales, we're talking with other people, that's marketing. And a lot of it you just won't see, but you'll see it in the charts. So anyway, I just wanted to preface things with, before we talk about what we're doing, with the why we're doing what we're doing, what the strategy is, what the approach is to the marketing that we're doing.
Thank you, David.
Anyway, John, please continue.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And if you haven't yet listened to them, we did. David did a fantastic AMA with Caesars Telegram group the other day, with Morris at Caesars. And if you can, please go back and listen to that if you haven't listened to it yet, because it just, it talks not just about the project, but it talks about the approach, as David has spoken to, and our journey and where we're looking to go. So I think that was such a good AMA. And also the one we did with Dylan. Dylan doesn't do paid calls. He's a small channel, but he's got a really great group of people there. And then we did Golems, right. We did we did some others as well. And we've had a bunch of videos coming out, and I love the spread of types of people. The different audiences. It's been really well managed and carefully managed, because again, we're always trying to save those marketing dollars so they provide us with a good ROI, a good return on the investment. It's so easy to waste money in this space, and money disappears very quickly as well. So what we're doing is being very strategic, and you can see it, as you said, David, in the chart.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh my God, that new iWatch, honestly. And now she just talks at me. I apologize. That's my buddy Siri, but we'll call her Switch Siri. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. But yes, so moving on from that, we're gonna revisit those people, especially the good ones. The good people that we've been working with. Sorry. Like Dylan's already reposted artists several times. You know, Caesar's reposting, Golem's reposting, and that's because they heard what David was saying, what Summit was saying, what myself, you know, I was on there. They listened and they see real value here, and that's what we're really hoping to do. So we're going to be doing more AMAs in the coming days and weeks ahead. So look out for those. Please stay tuned on the announcements there. We're going to also have influencers in the space. Of course, it's always good to go to them as well. Reach out to them. Tell them about our tiered referral system as well, because that's going to appeal to quite a lot of these guys. But we're going to good people. We're going to people that we like, that we've chosen specifically. There's people in the Twitter space. There's people in the Telegram space. We've got some YouTubers putting out videos. And we're really excited about working more closely with some of these YouTubers. In fact, David, you were one a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to try and talk to him again, I hope.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
What's his name?
You
can.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Dramatic effect. Dramatic pause.
Crypto Rock.
Crypto Rock. Yeah.
Crypto Rock. Yeah. Sorry,
channel.
Guys.
Really
Crypto Rock. I'm sorry, man.
Super cool guy. Super cool guy.
Yeah.
Really,
really
this,
good guy.
You know,
let me also talk about the strategy of this, because people said to me, you know, you're going to these small YouTubers, and you know, remember what happened last time, guys? I remember we paid for one of the few YouTubers that we paid for. And then 2 weeks later, he did a video slamming Titano. I mean, it was just, you know, and it was a learning experience, right? That we've gotta, when we can, right, get to know these guys a little bit. Kind of understand where they're going. And by the way, that's an initiative that we're going down. It's one of the things that we're looking at with Swych.Services. How do we help to support the types of YouTubers that we want to see? They don't just have to be focused on promoting us, but you know, that ones that have a little bit of integrity. It's not just about taking the money, and you know, they'll take money from anyone at any time. So you know, that's sort of been the strategy, and we've had such a, I don't know, love-hate relationship, for lack of a better phrase, with them, that we're really being cautious about who we, as John was saying, who we approach and how we approach them. But anyway, I just wanted to add that little 2 cents to it. Please continue.
Yeah, that's right though, David. It's not about just paying someone, getting them to put out a call and then going on our merry way. You know, we're trying to establish relationships with them, because we want them to understand that there's a long-term future here, and we want everyone to be involved. We want them to invest. And I can actually say, you know, all these guys, you know, they're coming back to me and they're saying, wow, their community loves this, you know. In fact, they're talking about it right now. I've just got a message from Golem, who was listening in, and he said, oh, thank you for the shout out. And everyone's talking about it in his community, and they're talking about Swych. It's Swych.
I see that.
I'm seeing it now.
Yeah. Excellent.
Everyone's loving it, you know, and that's what we want to develop, relationships in DeFi. And in the longer term, you know, Swych is, don't forget, a launch pad as well. It's a DEX and a launch pad. So these guys are working with so many projects, and we're looking to do some collaborations. We're looking to bring people on to put their tokens on Swych. We're looking to introduce their projects to our audience, and vice versa. And why don't they come here and use what we've built? You know, we've done all this work, all this money to build this fabulous DEX, and people can come and use it. And that's what we're hoping. And don't forget, you know, with our DEX, with our active DEX, we give so much back as well in terms of advice, marketing, development work, and also those low fees where we burn all the native tokens and we don't dump on their project. So it's really a win-win for these communities that we're talking to, because they then share our DEX with all the projects that they get approached by. We're talking not just one project, but potentially here hundreds of projects that we connect to every time we connect well with one influencer. So rather than seeing us, you know, paying all these big names on YouTube, where they might give you a courtesy shout out, we're developing real relationships, like you say, David, and establishing a line of communication that we can keep going back to, and they can ask us questions and we can reply. So in the future, when there's FUD or there's worry or concern, we can answer it immediately, and you know, put those fires out early and get back on track.
Right. Yes. Excellent. 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 Mm. Okay. Yeah. So lots of marketing planned. We've been, as you mentioned, hitting the chats. There are a couple of additional YouTube interviews that I've done that I think are coming out in the coming week,
Yeah.
and some others are lined up. Ninja promos locked and loaded.
Yes. We have ads with
Yeah.
coming out, I should say. So we've got Ninja Promos is running our ad campaign, which goes out in the next week or so. It delayed slightly because we wanted to get the launch out of the way, as you can imagine. But now it's all out, so our ads will start rolling out in the coming weeks. And they are, what's the platform? Propeller ads. So you'll
Right.
start seeing that.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. I want to again, under this heading of marketing, right, and also under the heading of projects, right, because that I haven't seen the questions, but I'm sure some of them relate to projects being listed on Switch. So I want to briefly kind of take all of us through the process, right, that even led to our creating the focus for Switch. So primarily the three of us, right, John, Summit, and I, but the devs as well were out looking at projects, and we took combined, I don't know how many meetings with projects, dozens and dozens. And what we found consistently, particularly with new projects that we were looking to launch on Switch, was the projects weren't at the level that we would have hoped. And, in some cases, the protocols weren't very good. In some cases, the ideas weren't very unique. In some cases, the teams weren't what we felt. And we were clear that what we wanted to do, at least initially, was have higher quality projects, because we felt that was one way that we could differentiate ourselves from what else was out there, places like Pink Sale. But behind that was also protecting the holders. Right? Whenever we get approached by a project, there's typically one main reason why they're coming to us, right? They want access to the community. And, again, my speech was always, listen, I'd love to bring an opportunity to the community where they can get involved in a great project, maybe generate some revenue, whatever it might be, whatever they might be looking for. But here's the challenge, right? The challenge is this is a established community has put their trust in us. So we have to be extraordinarily careful about who we engage with. And what we found was that, the vast majority of the projects that we interacted with just couldn't meet the standards that we set. And from that's part of the reason why we sort of developed Switch and its different elements in the way that it is because we felt a lot of those projects, if they had that additional set of resources, that additional help, they could really be good projects. And so, looking at it, we decided, there's a potential large area there. The lines that we're saying is, more than 90% of all crypto projects that launch fail within the first 90 days. Right now, if you take out rug pulls, which are a smaller percentage than everyone thinks, and then you take out the fact that, it was a terrible project, should have never been launched, the people should have never had a project, you're still left with probably more than a third of those projects that launched that, if they had resources, they could sustain. And if you think about it, that's what happened with Unico. Unico was a project that got incubated by the Switch team, and that project's still sustaining. They're almost at 5 months. So they've beat the odds, and it's doing well. So it was a great example for us, a test case, if you will, and something that we could compare to. Look, we had Unico, we put the time in, and look at what's happened. By the way, I don't want to take anything away from the Unico team. They're great. They're amazing.
They are
started with a
fantastic.
great
Yeah, they are
project,
great
great
guys.
idea.
Really great.
So I don't want to take anything away from them.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it, the combined efforts created this amazing thing. And we went, wow, you know what? There's an opportunity here. And here's the great thing about it. Two amazing things that shouldn't be overlooked. Number one, by creating a Unico and a project like that, we now create an ecosystem for Switch. We've now got partners that we can work with and build with and co-market with, all of these things. That's number one. And the bigger thing is Titano/Switch positions itself where it should be. Our agenda shouldn't just be about growing this project. It should be about growing the space. the entire space. So by doing this, by making better projects, we end up helping the entire space. We end up now, think about it. When you're a DeFi investor, what are you always thinking? Gosh, I want to put my money in. I want to get to the point where I can take out my initial or part of it and now just ride. Well, if you only got 90 days, chances are, or less than 90 days, chances are you're unable to do that. If we can extend that, we help every investor on the Binance Smart Chain. So, it as we started looking at all of these things, it was like, you know what, let's take a little bit more time. Let's not lower our standards. Let's put resources together that can help us to move other projects up to our standards rather than taking risky projects and throwing them at the community. So I want everyone to just be mindful that that's the strategy that's going on here. It takes a little bit more time, but you get a project that sustains. You don't get these pump and dumps. You don't get these, hey, what happened? 1 week they're gone. And I invite you to look at other DEXs that have launched after us. That are now doing these launch pads, and look and see what's happening to those projects. Right? They're not sustaining. They're just not. So as you're looking at, I know people are going, why all these projects are going to jump on? I'm telling you, there aren't that many quality projects, right? We've gone through dozens of them.
Yeah.
Doors open and we're talking with a bunch, and a bunch are on the table. Absolutely. But what we want is we want to keep proving the point.
Yes.
We want another project to sustain, and another project to sustain, another project to sustain. Believe me, we do that 2 or 3 times. Every quality project is going to be coming to us. So I just wanted to kind of add that in, as we're having these conversations, there's a strategy and it's working. And when you see the elements being put into Switch and approach up, that's what they're there for. We want to work with you. And the great thing is we've got an example, right? It's not just, well, how do you guys know you can do it? This is what we do. This is what we do. This is what the other question is, well, David, wait a second, maybe you shouldn't be talking about this. Maybe someone else is going to do it. Here's how it goes. If you're launching a company that can't take competition, you are doomed to failure. Of course, we want competition. We want other good ones, to come in and do this. We have our angle. We have our way of doing it. And there's enough business, like I told you, there's 35% of these projects that are just not going to make it, but could if they had these resources. We want other good companies to come in and prove that there's a business here. That's fantastic. So yeah, if we create, like we did with Titano, a whole different area for DEXs, I'd be the happiest person in the world. So this is what's going on, and it's a road that we're on, and there are discussions, and even as I'm talking now, I know a lot of those project holders, because a lot of them told me, man, I'm buying into Switch. A lot of them are listening. This is what's going on. We don't want you to fail and then get investors more reluctant to invest in the next project. What project?
That's right.
We want to we want to take on this agenda with you so we can have more successful projects. It helps all of us.
Yep. That's good, David. And I think, very well said. I think that's something we've been trying to get across to the projects as well, and to these communities. It's the fact that we're ready. We're ready now. The launchpad is there and it's ready to go. We've brought on Unico in the past. Fantastic devs, really great team, really sharp guys. And that's the kind of projects that we want to find, and they won't fail. They just won't fail, because when everyone wants them to succeed, the DEX wants them to succeed. This is the Switch DEX. The Switch team wants them to succeed. The community, our community wants them to succeed. It puts the odds in your favor. Be one of these first projects. Come to us. Come with your ideas. Let's work through it. We've got a fantastic team of devs here. Some amazing talent, both there and within the staff, within the team, within our community. Bring your projects here. Bring it over, and let's take a look. Let's make some success stories here.
Yeah, well said. Well said. It's a lot of work, but what's interesting is we're the right people for it. Being in these conversations with you guys, talking to some of these teams, and sometimes we're on the phone with 5 or 6 people, and they're all hyped up, and we've got to get them focused on what's really, really important. A lot of these people are really smart people. Some of them just don't have the experience. I listen to John, who has so much experience working on projects. I listen to you, John, and you're always simple. You're like, listen, if you don't do this, it's just not going to work. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's true. Or you'll say, it all sounds great, but I don't understand, like, what's this and why do you have it? And then there's dead silence. And it's all about our protecting everyone involved in the
Right.
process.
Exactly.
These guys, whenever I get on the phone with them, I know these guys have spent a lot of their own money developing what they have. I don't want to see them fail.
No.
But again, we got to protect the community. We got to protect, our holders. We got to protect what we're doing. We can't get a reputation of, just putting out anything.
That's right.
And in the end, it doesn't bring anything to anyone. It doesn't bring any value. And again, it reaffirms to all of us that, maybe I shouldn't take a risk. So again, part of what we're doing is we're taking on that agenda, right? Not solely, right? What's going to happen and what is happening is other projects are going to go and say, hey, you know what? You're right. That is an important issue. How do we work together? Not enough projects are working together in this space in the right way. We need to come together and figure all this stuff. We've got this, you've got that. Let's put it all together. It'll help everyone. And when all of this legislation that's comes, we want to have stories that are pushback stories. Wait a minute, look what's going on over there. We can be a part of that. We've got this amazing community that just keeps growing and growing and keeps getting more and more special. So this is one of the ways that we deploy it. We use our leverage to force other projects to up their game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so I just want you all to know, as this is going on, it's not easy, but we are up for the task, and we're going to get this done, and we're going to kick ass with this. Anyway, all right, I'm off my soapbox now, guys. All right, Summit, what else do we have?
Oh gosh. Well, I think we've gone through. I don't know if there was anything else we kind of wanted to touch on the marketing side.
Just on the marketing, just to say, so expect more of the same, more AMAs, more community outreach. Look out for those ads that we've got coming. We've got a big ad campaign with Propeller Ads through Ninja, so they're managing that. So that's an entirely a big thing of its own. We've got influencers coming on board, which again we're working with closely to make sure we get the correct narrative and message across, both on YouTube, both on Twitter, more on Instagram. So these will be ongoing things, and as we've always spoken about before, we market to product, so to releases, to things that are happening. So right now, obviously, there's a lot going on, so we're doing the marketing, and you can see the results, and also soon we're going to have that perpetual DEX coming out, and again we're going to market separately for that as well. So expect to see a compounded effect, ever growing, just getting the word out there more and more. In the meantime, we're on the dev side. I believe we're going to keep iterating on what you see. So obviously day one, it's come, it looks beautiful, but I believe there are some updates already happening and fixes already happening. Summit.
Yeah, I was just gonna touch on that. There are definitely some things in the work, like we talked about earlier. Getting that buy bot interface that's going to be added to the website there. Of course, just getting some clean up on any type of issues that you might see, or just making it a little bit nicer, easier to use. One thing I do know is that the referral system is going to get some updates as well. Not how it works, but just how the interface is, to make it easier to understand how many referrals you have, maybe better tracking, things like that. So that'll be super nice. And then, of course, the great thing about this community is there's so many of you guys who are able to say, hey, this would be better if it looked like this, or hey, I saw this and maybe it should be changed to this. We're taking that feedback, for anybody who finds like any issues, or maybe anybody who thinks this would look better or work better if it was, XYZ way. We're taking that feedback and adjusting it. It's constantly growing and evolving. Like you said, John, it's only been, 2 days for the staking app on there. And, you don't really know how everybody's going to react until everybody reacts. And then, we don't know that till after everything gets launched. So continuing to share that feedback, share those ideas. Of course, that goes, not just to the DApp and the website, but anything that you guys have in general, share that with us. But it's constantly being updated, constantly being evolved. Right now, the biggest thing that we should see today is going to be that buy bot updated on the website, and that'll be super exciting.
Fantastic. A few people have mentioned the calculator. So the calculator shows your estimated earnings by staking Swych, and it shows it before you stake, but at the moment it doesn't show after you stake. So we've already passed that along, and that's definitely on the list. But of course, in the DApp itself, you can see your deposits, you can see your earnings, and you can see the total value locked. So you can keep track of it in that way as well.
Yeah. I think it's important to note too that the only way you can check your staked tokens is through that DApp.
Yes.
There's not like a token that you can add to your wallet. So if you're ever like, hey, I wonder how much I'm at, or I wonder how many tokens I have, make sure you go to the DApp. There's nothing that you'd be adding to your wallet to see something like that.
Yeah. And what about the other things on this site? So for example, the Super Lotto, is that still running?
Super Lotto is very much still running.
Fantastic.
You can still take part of that now. The cool thing about it is you can actually get dividends through that lottery system as well. And for those new or old and just kind of want a refresher, that Super Lotto essentially allows you a chance at winning a huge BUSD jackpot in combination with a Bored Ape Yacht Club. Got to say the whole thing here. NFT worth over $100,000. Tickets are 2 BUSD, and then you get to have lifetime dividend rewards for as long as you have those tickets inside your wallet, and they show up as NFTs inside your wallet. Just so if you're wondering what's that, it's actually your Super Lotto ticket there, and that's how you get those dividends. But yeah, check it out. It's really cool. I know plenty of people who've won little prizes here and there, but nobody's won the jackpot yet. But that might be you, so give it a shot.
Yeah, hey, it's the biggest lottery in crypto, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And that revenue for life is really, really cool. If you buy a ticket, as Summit said, it shows up in your wallet as an NFT. Someone asked me the other day, "Hey, what's this Super Lotto NFT?" It's like, dude, that's money. So hold on to it. You get a percentage of all the revenue collected by the lottery going forward for the life of the lottery, right? Not the next hand. I mean, as long as the lottery will run. It's years, you get revenue for years. So that's unique with this lottery. And yeah, and the jackpot just keeps climbing. No one wins it. It just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing.
Yeah, and for those people that are saying, oh, maybe the jackpot is a bit hard to win. Yeah, it should be. It should be hard to win, as all jackpots on these lottos are, because as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, that's going to draw more and more people in. And don't forget, there are smaller prizes which people are winning on a daily basis. I've actually won one of those prizes before, guys. I'll let you know.
All right.
I'm not swimming in that BUSD. Actually, I'm trying to find the wallet that I won with, because I won that $5, but I know that I've got some royalties on that, so I'm going to try and find it.
Yeah, indeed. So what else is there, John? You were bringing up things. So that's Super Lotto. What else is working and what isn't working?
So there's no play at the moment, and there's no TSP anymore. But of course, you have the staking, which is
which
a
replaces
replacement for TSP.
Right.
Now, some of you that had tokens in TSP and haven't claimed them yet, the guys are working on a new UI user interface update. So you will have a new page where you can go and claim your tokens, claim your BUSD later. So don't worry about that. If you have some rewards that you didn't collect yet in TSP, give us a little time. The devs are working on that, and you'll be able to claim those soon.
Excellent. Excellent.
Awesome.
All right. Any questions you guys are seeing that are things that we may not have covered but might be really important? Anything, Summit? Anything you're seeing there?
Ooh, I think we've gone through a good chunk of things. I think the biggest thing was the transfer fees that I know people had questions on.
Right.
And of
Right.
course, getting everything staked with the whole MetaMask stuff.
Right.
I will
Got
be
it.
happy to say we're getting just some more information out for the MetaMask stuff in case people have questions there. But the beautiful thing is we have all of our social channels open, right? So if a
That's
question
great.
isn't answered here, you can just jump in one of those channels, ask away. And of course, we're happy to answer anything there. But I think we've
Mm.
gone over a vast majority of what the questions are. We'll probably come up with maybe a little summary after this as well, just in text. So if anybody had those questions or they're answered, and they can look back at that real quick. But nothing
Right.
that I can think of. John, David, I don't know if anything that you guys think of on that.
I'm just
Mm.
scrolling through the chat now to see if there's anything. I can't really see anything. I think we've managed to cover everything today, which is nice. Someone's talking about coffee. Yep. I'm a coffee man, so I agree. You should buy your new coffee machine. Good job. I can't see anything else. So if there is anything, I'm sure the guys can answer it in the socials later.
Excellent. Guys, I would like to, if I can, close out first.
Please do.
I don't
Please do.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to take a minute to say thank you to the team. The mods, the marketing people, everyone that we're working with, you guys. It is just such a pleasure to work with you all. And I'm just really, really blown away. I've worked with so many companies, and this is one where it really is a group of people dedicated and working hard, like towards an agenda. And whenever I interact with any of the Titans who are angry, and they sort of imply that, well, you guys are just all one group moving together, blah, blah, blah. It isn't like that. There are arguments, there are disagreements, there are ideas that are going in different directions. But what there is there is a common focus on getting this thing right. And I'm really, really, really honored to be a part of this team and with you all. I said this, I'm always talking about the team, but I want to just say it directly to you all. Thank you guys for your hard work. You guys work long hours when, things like this migration was coming. It was all hands on deck, and everyone was there answering the same question 1,000 times. I just really want you guys to understand how appreciated you are. And by the Titans, I've got so many messages from Titans saying, shout out to the team. You guys did a great job. The migration was flawless. And so I just wanted to use my time to just say, thank you, team. Thank you, guys. Thank you, devs. Thank you, all of us, for the hard work. And we really, really appreciate it. It's really appreciated. John, please.
John, next. Go.
And thank you, David. I think many people will concur. You're out there burning the midnight oil, talking to lots of people, and really sharing our story there so beautifully. And it is important because you're voicing what can't be said often, because no one, people in the background, people doing the coding, people doing the moderating, they don't get a lot of this credit. And so you're there, and you're reminding people that there is this huge team, and it's made up of individuals that are working, as you say, 7 days a week. Christmas Day, New Year's Day, we've been there throughout.
Right.
This has been a really busy few months, especially once we decided on this direction. Once the devs, decided and shared the direction with us, everyone's been full on, involved. So incredible, and thank you to the community for being so patient. This is just the beginning, guys. This is just the beginning, switchlings, and expect really big things. This is an ambitious team, with the same goals that they had at the beginning, to create a project that we could all be proud of, that would take care of the holders, that would, give you that passive income from your money, put your money to work in the right way, and now they're building out all the utilities, like I said, the products that turn this into a business, so that you can be a part of that business. It's really exciting, and thank you, Summit, thank you, David, thank you, team, moderators, staff, thank you, community, for being a part of it.
Thank you, man. Summit, it's on
Oh
you.
gosh, my turn now. I get to close it out, I guess.
Yep.
No, of course, big thanks to you, David, John. You guys have always supported me, had my back, and I know everything going on. It's been incredible. We've all had our lack of sleep, of course, going through all of this here, but it's been an incredible journey and a continuing journey.
Right.
I want to give a shout out personally to, of course, all the mods in the community. I know it's a lot, going through this migration, going through everything here, and supporting and being there the entire time is time consuming. Sharing kind of that journey inside the chat channels and being supportive and boosting up the energy and the vibes. And I really want to give huge props to the community for sticking with us and continuing to have faith and trust. And we have a huge and bright future ahead. And as for the moderators, they spend a lot of time in those chats, staring at the screens, bloodshot eyes, ready to go answering those questions. So if you're ever in there, give them a quick thanks. Recognize that they're here all the time and they're human too, and share some love for all the questions that they answer. But I really want to close it out and thank, of course, our amazing dev team. They truly have made a project that is going to change the DeFi world. It's changed the whole crypto space, and everything that's happened has been smooth. It's exciting. It keeps you at the edge of your seat, getting ready for that next phase, that next journey or leg of that journey going through. And I mean, it would not be possible. We wouldn't be here without just how amazing they are and the continued development and dedication that they have to this project and community and team. So huge shout out to them. But of course, a huge shout out to everybody. We're going to have an amazing start to Switch and a continued journey here. I'm very excited for it. I'm excited to do more AMAs and talk more about coffee with John, and then have David talk with us about coffee as well. We're all talking about coffee at the end of the day,
Yeah, it's pretty late for me now. I don't think I'm going to be doing any coffee conversations, but tomorrow, I'll jump on first thing in the morning.
Awesome.
Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Always a pleasure. Thank you both for your time. Thank you, community, for being here with us. And as Summit was saying, giving us your faith and your love and your support. We are ecstatic for what we're building together. And it's going to take all of us together, working together to get there. But if we do that, we will get there.
Yeah. Definitely. Please, can you just a request to our community, please can you follow us on all the socials, because we're going to start putting out polls and competitions, and we'd love you to be involved and engaged. And as we mentioned before, it'd be great if you could like and share and retweet these things so we can spread the message.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please, guys. All right. Thank you all.
All right, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.